A little bit about our chef today. Chef Lisa won the first San Francisco Vegan Iron Chef Award in 2013. She also won an award in New York in 2010 for Best Raw Vegan. And most recently, Lisa's been working with Kaiser Hospital to educate or vegetate their patients and their members about a plant-based diet. She's also working with VA Hospital in Livermore, Menlo Park, and Harris and Laguna Honda. Everybody, please welcome Chef Lisa.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Now, is my microphone on? Everything is on? Well, great. Well, I'm so happy to be here with all of you today. And as Janet said, I'm a plant-based chef and a plant-based educator, or as I like to say, a professional vegucator. So are all of you ready to get a little bit vegucated today? That's right. Well, first of all, I want to applaud you all for your willingness to come out on a Sunday. I know Sundays are like the days where everybody wants to kind of sleep in, and I know you had to brave the traffic and everything, but I really wanted to let you all know that every single one of you is amazing. Every single one of you is amazing. You are amazing. Yeah? You are amazing. You are amazing. Now, how many of you believe that you are amazing? How many of you believe that? Okay? Well, if you all believe that, then don't you think that you deserve the most amazing food on the planet? Right? And so the most amazing food on the planet happens to come from plants, right? So if we're amazing, and we all believe that we're an amazing miracle, which we all are, then we deserve to put the most amazing food in our body, which comes from plants. Now, one of the things, a lot of people think that I've been chefing my whole life. And so that's not true. I haven't been chefing my whole life. I've been vegucating for the last decade, but before that, I had another career. Actually, I worked as a professional sex therapist. Yes, I worked as a professional sex therapist, and I want to say I was so happy to come here and see a familiar face. I'm so happy to see you again. That's great. Just so happy. How you doing, by the way? You're doing okay? All right. Everything's good? Better? It's better now? It's all better? Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. See, my workout. So the title of my demo today is Foods to Get You in the Mood. And so this is kind of apropos, right? And so we all have different moods in our life. Our emotions can go up and down, but we choose our joy, and we choose to be happy. How many of you believe that? Okay? So we have no control over situations that happen in our life, but we can choose how we're going to react to them. I definitely believe that. And so we make the choice of how we're going to react. But let's talk about how our cells are going to react. So we know that our cells can react to our emotions, but our cells can also react to the fuel that we're putting in our body. How many of you remember this cartoon called Ren and Stimpy? It came out about 20 years ago, all right? So Ren and Stimpy. And so Ren was this really, really angry and destructive little cartoon character, and he hated when anybody was happy, all right? That's like processed food. All right, processed food is like Ren. It just wants to destroy your cells with free radicals, and, it just wants to age you and eat your collagen and everything. So that's Ren. So Stimpy, which was the complement to Ren, just was very simple, loved life, and loved being happy. And as a matter of fact, Stimpy would always do this little dance called Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy, Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy. So that's what your cells feel whenever you put plant-based whole foods into them. Now, do you want your cells to be like, or do you want them to be happy, happy, joy, joy? So that's why I want to share with you this juice that I'm going to make today. So I'm using a Breville juicer, and this is the one that Joe Cross used in Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. How many of you have seen that documentary? It's a great one. So this is under $200, and it does its purpose. It's a centrifugal juicer. So what type of things are going to go in our joyful juice? Well, let me tell you about that. Janice? Also, would you grab the parsley and the kale from my cooler, please? Okay. So the first thing that's going to go in our joyful juice is some fennel. Now you might say, Lisa, this is really weird. Why do you have a fennel bulb in your hand? And what does this have to do with joy? Well, our second brain is in our gut. Okay, you know when you get like a gut feeling about something or whatever? So our gut is very important. And as a matter of fact, in Italy, they always eat fennel after a meal to help with your digestion. So fennel is one of the best things to help your gut, to give you a healthy digestive tract. So that is why fennel is going into our joyful juice. We're also going to put in some celery. Okay, and I love celery. And if you look at the celery stalk, you can see that celery kind of looks like one of our body organs. It looks like our bones. And as a matter of fact, celery is a wonderful source of natural sodium. And get this, here's what's sexy about celery. Now, when you look at this, you don't think, oh, this is really sexy. But celery is sexy. And that's because celery contains aldosterone, and aldosterone is secreted in men when they perspire, and that type of a hormone can attract women, and they think it's kind of sexy. So, men, eat your celery! Eat your celery! That's right. And also, celery juice is a great natural Gatorade, and so is coconut water. Because how many of you have been working out or you've been sweating and you kind of taste your sweat and it kind of tastes a little bit of salty? So you're excreting electrolytes that your body needs. So you can drink some celery juice, or you can also have some coconut water to help with getting those electrolytes back in your body. So the next thing that is going to go into our joyful juice, and all of you should have the recipe. We're handing out the recipes to everybody, okay? The next thing that's going to go in our joyful juice is the wonderful cucumber, okay? And I love cucumbers. You can pick your size. You know, I like cucumbers. I like this one. And anyway, so these are some organic Persian cucumbers. And what is so great about the cucumber is that according to the National Smell and Taste Institute in Chicago, yes, there is a National Smell and Taste Institute, that the smell of cucumbers creates arousal in women. And they measured the arousal by blood flow to the clitoris and also, you know, how the brain lit up. So men, if you don't have any cologne, because that can decrease arousal by 1%, rub a cucumber on yourself and then go at it, okay? And also the cucumber shape isn't bad either. All right, and so we're gonna put some cucumber in there. All right, now we also need to create a little bit of sweetness in our juice. This is gonna be a little bit more of a savory juice, and we're gonna use a green apple. Now, the reason I love being able to do the juicing is because at Optimal Health Institute, which is a raw vegan place in San Diego and in Austin, Texas, they recommend that you juice once a week to give your digestive system a rest. And so if you're going to be juicing, you know, once a week to give your digestive system a rest, you don't want to be drinking orange juice. You don't want to be drinking those high glycemic juices. You want to be drinking a mostly, you know, alkaline green juice. And so everything that I have here is alkaline. We're also going to put in a lime to add a little bit of a nice citrus flavor. And then, of course, we're going to have our greens. And the greens we're going to put in are some parsley. And by the way, folks, parsley is a superfood. Put parsley in your smoothies, put parsley in your juice, put parsley in your belly. Lots of times you only see parsley as a little condiment on a plate. And throw out the stuff from Denny's and eat the parsley if you ever go there. Because this is wonderful. It also freshens the breath. And if your dog has bad breath, give your dog some parsley. Give them a yam with some parsley in it. It helps to freshen the breath, and the natural chlorophyll is wonderful. And we're also going to put in some kale, which is high in minerals and nutrients. So we're going to do the juicer, and I kind of have to do the juicer with the pole, like in my in my way, so make sure I don't bonk myself, all right? So what I do is I've set the juicer on high, and when I put it on high, we can put things like our celery in there. Okay? Look at that. I just love that smell. I really, really love it. And then we're going to stick in our cucumbers. You can get the juice ready. Give them a full cup. And shake it before we serve it, okay? We're just putting that in. And then we're going to put in a little bit of our greens. But when you put in your greens, you want to make sure it's in a ball. And then you're going to switch your juicer to low. Does everybody get that? So for the maximum extraction, you need to be able to put your juicer on low when you put your greens in. Okay? Because if you put them on high, then it creates too much stress on the greens. So we put them on low, and then what I like to do is I like to follow it with something hard, like an apple piece or whatever. Okay, there we go. Now we can switch it back to high, everybody. We're going to put in our fennel. Here we go. This smells wonderful, by the way, everybody. I don't know if any of you can smell it, but it just smells wonderful. Okay, just getting that. And look at how much juice we have coming out. Now, I also like putting in some kale. I had to go to Trader Joe's and get this kale because I didn't have the other one, but that's okay, because remember what I said about just kind of putting it in a bunch and then keeping it on the lower speed. So we're just going to go ahead and stick it in there. And then we've got, it just is a little bit that comes out, but that little bit that comes out is really, really powerful. Now, I love vegetables, and as a matter of fact, vegetables are the new Viagra, okay? Vegetables are the new Viagra. And like Clyde, I don't know if you know this, but I don't know if you know this, but Viagra is the #1 selling prescription medication for men. It's the #1. And if people are eating vegetables, then they don't need to worry about that, right? Because vegetables give lots of oxidation to the blood, lots of great antioxidants, and remember, if your blood isn't flowing, your cucumber ain't growing, okay? All right. I think that's funny. I think that's funny, all right? Okay, that's great. And then the last thing that we're also going to put in is this little piece of ginger. We have this little piece of ginger here. And ginger is a wonderful anti-inflammatory, and it's going to add a little bit more spice to our juice. There we go. And we'll just finish it off with the apple, and then we're ready. One last piece of apple. One last piece of kale. There we go. And look at all that wonderful juice that we've got. Now, it is true that if you eat all of this, you are going to be chewing and chewing and chewing, and you're going to be getting the bulk and the fiber. But like I said, sometimes it's good for the body to juice, and I do recommend, and what OHI says, it's good to just spend 1 day juice fasting. And this is the type of juice that you want to be able to do it with. And you can take glass jars, and this juice will keep in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. It's best if you consume it right away, but it can last for 3 days. Okay? So, hopefully when you get the juice, you'll be doing the happy, happy, joy, joy, the happy, happy, joy, joy. I can make no guarantees about that. But hopefully you'll feel good about it. So, yeah, of course, yeah, start serving everybody. So, what did you have for breakfast today? What about you? Yeah.
I had gluten-free oatmeal.
That's good.
Steamed homemade almond milk.
Uh-huh.
Black currants, raisins, two stewed prunes, and one peach.
That's good. That's a great breakfast, but you know, you're not like most people. You know? Most people choose to go to a restaurant with a clown on it, and they choose to have an ovum with a little piece of mammary secretion melted on top. So, for breakfast, one of the best things is to eat like Viata said here, and to have some oatmeal. So, a lot of people are like, oatmeal, that's like prison slop. But oatmeal is one of the healthiest things that you can have. Now, way that I like to do this is I created it in a bar, because believe it or not, this Vegucator is busy. And so sometimes I can't always take my wet oatmeal with me. So I have to take it with me in another form. And that's why I created the Antioxidant Breakfast Bar. This is 1 bar. This is 1 serving, but let me tell you what's in this. First of all, it's gluten-free. There's no sugar and there's no oil in this either. This is 1 ounce of oatmeal, and it's 1 ounce of of nuts and seeds. So it's a half an ounce of nuts and a half an ounce of seeds and a full serving of fruit and a tablespoon of flax meal and lots of wonderful deliciousness. And I take this with me everywhere when I'm traveling. And hopefully this will thrill all of you too. So without further ado, let me tell you how to make it. You like that juice? You know what? Because we have a small group, you all want some more juice? Another shot? Okay. And give me some juice too. I want some juice.
I just have one question though. So
Yeah.
when you were juicing the Granny Smith apple into your juicer, how come you didn't remove the seeds?
Because we all came from a seed. You know, we all came from a seed, and seeds are great. You know, the essence of life is in the seed.
Apple seeds have cyanide?
That is a big rumor, okay? There's a rumor that about arsenic or cyanide being in the apple seeds, but you would have to eat like a pound of seeds to get any detrimental effect from that. So I like using the seeds through the juicer.
It's easier to do it too.
Yeah, it's just easier to put that through.
It inspired me to, like, you know, be a pro-seed person.
Pro seeds, yay! That's why I'm a big seed lover. Yes, thank you. So, did any of you feel happy, happy, joy, joy, or did any of you feel like Ren, like, Arr? Did you all feel kind of happy drinking this? And as a matter of fact, Misty is a professional dancer, and she is going to do a little dance of like how your cells feel, you know, just like a little 15-second one, like a happy, happy, joy, joy one. That's right. All right. That's right. Yes, thank you. Now, do you want to show us? You could show us also an angry one, like if your cells are mad and pissed that you gave them a clown burger or something. Oh, that's right. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So we are going to use the banana, and of course the banana has a shape that we're all familiar with. But also, what's great about the banana is it contains bromelain, and bromelain is great for men's prostate health. So men, eat your bananas. They're good for you, okay? They're good for you. So we're going to just put our bananas, and these are ripe bananas. Notice this banana does not look like a leopard, okay? It doesn't look like a leopard. I know so many people that keep their bananas till they are browner than brown, you know. And what has happened is your banana is old, it's fermented, and you've increased the sugar content immensely. So this is a perfect banana, okay? This is a perfect one. It's not like a leopard, and it's not green, okay? And so this is the way that I like to eat them. And I like to get them, yes, Lori?
Do you work with banana skins? I have stopped eating bananas, and I use the skins of quality bananas, and my husband gets the bananas.
Do you eat the banana skins?
It's unbelievable. The texture that when you process it, that you can get, it has all the nutrients. Read about it.
Well, I do not. I mean, if you want to eat the banana skin,
I won't eat the skin.
You won't eat the skin, okay?
No, but I use it in making.
But what is great too is to put this on your roses. It really is a great compost for your flowers. It's wonderful. So the banana skins are wonderful, but thanks. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try using, I'm going to try doing that. That sounds amazing. So we're also going to put in an apple, but this is not a green apple like we had in the other one. This is a Fuji apple. And we are just going to take this apple and we're just going to cut it up. And remember, the seeds aren't going to hurt us. It's just going to be a little bit of extra fiber. You know, just a little bit of extra fiber. And you can core the apple if you're freaked out right now. You can definitely do that. But if not, nobody's freaked out, I hope.
I'm not either.
Okay, don't think.
After you told me.
Okay, because I don't want anyone to be nervous because we're in happy, happy, joy, joy mode, you know, and we're feeling good. And now the reason these bars fit into my foods to get you in the mood is because concentration and focus are very important in intimacy. So if you're thinking about paying the bills, you're not going to be very good to your partner or very good to yourself, right? So we need to keep our brain sharp because our brain is the most important sex organ in the body. As a matter of fact, I like to call it the 3-pound gem. Yes, it's the 3-pound gem. And so attraction starts in our brain. And if our brains are foggy from eating bad foods, we're not going to be alert enough and in tune with our partner's needs and in tune with our own needs. So that's important. Work on your brain, and everything else then can follow. All right, so we're going to put in some raspberries. And as a matter of fact, what do you think the raspberry looks like? What does it look like, Cecilia?
Like a nipple?
A nipple, that's right. That's right. So the the raspberries are called love nipples. In some cultures, they call them love nipples. And what's really sexy is to put some in a little bit of sparkling water or a little bit of champagne, drink it, and then at the end, take the raspberry in your mouth and put it in your lover's mouth. It's hot. So go ahead and do that.
Oh my God, Lisa, what's going on?
I've got
What's your last name to love?
That's right. I should change it
Lisa
to
Love.
Lisa Love. Oh my gosh, I could do that. I'll say about doing that. So the next thing we're going to put in are some blueberries, and blueberries are full of antioxidants. And remember, blood flow. Remember what I said earlier, if the blood isn't flowing, the cucumber isn't growing, right? So we need to make sure those antioxidants are oxygenating our blood, and blueberries are full of antioxidants. As a matter of fact, Dr. Stephen Pratt, in his book Lifestyle RX, he recommends that you have at least a cup of blueberries a day, and the reason is because of all the antioxidant properties. And the National Alzheimer's Society is recommending that you have a cup of blueberries a day because of the antioxidant value with keeping the amyloid plaques from building up in the brain. It can stave off Alzheimer's for up to 2 to 5 years. So eat those berries, get them every day. And the next wonderful antioxidant-rich thing we're going to put in is some pomegranate juice. Now notice, this is not Ocean Spray. This is not any of those other brands. This is pure, organic, unsweetened pomegranate juice. And we're just going to put in 2 tablespoons worth of it. And if you can't get some berries, then have at least a half a cup of pomegranate juice in your smoothie every day. It's good for the body. It's very good for the body. So now we're going to continue on our antioxidant voyage. Do you like that? I just made that up. Antioxidant voyage. So you'll notice over here, we've got some flax seeds. Now, if you've ever seen a horse or a dog, we love to pet them because they have such beautiful, shiny coats. And people feed their dogs and their horses and their cats, I think some people feed their cats, flaxseed because it is full of omega-3s. Now, these are whole flax seeds, organic, and I store them in the refrigerator. That's really important to store them in the refrigerator. Now, the omega-3s are located in the lignans, and the only way that you can release them is to break them apart like this in a designated grinder or in a blender. Now, the reason I don't want you to be going to Costco and buying the pre-ground flax meal, it's already rancid, okay? It's already rancid because the moment you break this apart, you need to immerse it in a liquid in order for you to receive the benefits of it. So buying the oil isn't a whole food. You know, maybe you can get a little bit of benefit from that, but the best thing is to grind this fresh every morning and put a tablespoon on top of your oatmeal, or if you put it whole in your Vitamix will break it apart. So we want to get that wonderful flax meal. I love it. It smells great. And I'm sorry, folks, if you have it from Costco, you need to throw it out because it's already rancid. 2, 3, 3, yeah, 4, right. 5, 6. Because remember, each batch is going to make 6 bars. And so if we were at home, I would take this right now and I would put this immediately into the freezer. Immediately into the freezer. All your nuts and seeds need to be stored in the refrigerator. So please, if you take anything from this away today, keep your nuts and seeds in the refrigerator. So speaking of seeds, remember earlier I said that all of us came from a seed. Every single one of us were human seeds, and every single one of us is a living, breathing creature, right? Every single one of us is. Is there anybody here that is not alive? Is there anybody here?
We're all breathing.
We're all breathing, okay? So every single thing that is alive does 2 things. What are the 2 things that every living thing does? It eats and it reproduces. That's
I
right.
was thinking of making love and procreate.
Making love and procreate, right, okay? But I don't know if an amoeba is making love. Is it making love when it splits? I don't know. All right. But anyway, so these are pleasurable experiences. So let's make our food pleasurable to help with our ability to procreate. How's that? All right? And so we're going to put in some raw sunflower seeds here, and these are full of vitamin E, and vitamin E is very, very important because it's a fat soluble vitamin, and what it does is it helps the other nutrients to transcend through the blood-brain barrier. So whenever you're eating greens, it's great if you have a dressing with an avocado or a nut and seed dressing on top versus an oil to help you absorb the nutrients from those greens and also from that fruit as well. So the next wonderful antioxidant-rich thing that we're going to put in is a walnut. And look at this walnut. What does it look like?
The brain.
The brain, that's right. Because omega-3s are good for our brain. And so we're just going to put in some walnuts. Just put some walnuts in there. And where do you think I keep my nuts? That's right. Yes. You keep them in the refrigerator or you keep them in the freezer because these are expensive, right? And they're sensitive to light and they're sensitive to heat. And if we're eating a plant-based diet, we don't have to put anything in the meat shelf. You know, the meat, that little compartment on our refrigerator. So take a piece of a label and say nuts and seeds and put it in that way. So we're just going to blend this up and then we're going to add some wonderful spices. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Look at this. This is one of the most important antioxidants that are out there. So we've got our beautiful berries, but we're also going to put in something that I love called goji berries. How many of you are familiar with gojis? Right? Okay, so gojis are they're a sacred food. And the reason I say this is because the monks in Tibet, and that's where a lot of the goji berries come from. They take the goji berries and they put them in their tea. And they sip their tea. And then at the end of their cup of tea, they've got this luscious soaked berry. You know, the goji berry has been soaking up the tea. And then the monks take it and nibble on it. And that might be the only excitement they get all day. You know, it might be the only one. But goji berries are a wonderful thing, and they are a great source of antioxidants, and so we are going to put them in there too. And the last thing we're going to put in before we put in our spices is a little bit of another really great antioxidant source, some dark chocolate. Now, we're just going to put in some dark chocolate chips, and normally at home I use carob because I like to stay away from caffeine. But if you don't have carob, just go ahead and put in some dark chocolate chips, and this is all you need, 1/4 cup to make all of this wonderful stuff. Now we're passing around my sign-up sheet. You receive my newsletter with free recipes, free events, free tips. What more could you want? You know, what more could you want? And also, we were handing out some little orange cards. And I was very, very blessed to win Vegan Iron Chef in 2013. I was very grateful. And I am going to be competing in the All-Stars at the end of February. And I'm going to be competing against Kevin from Citizen Fox and Jay Estafa from New York City. And yes, I am twice their age and I am a woman, so go out and root for me if you feel so inclined to be there, because it's going to be a wonderful time. And if you purchase your ticket today, because they will sell out, if you purchase your ticket today, you can get it for 15% off at the Karen Brighton events booth. Okay? And it's a fun event. Have any of you ever been to Vegan Iron Chef? Nobody here? It is fun. It's going to be in San Francisco. It's going to be in San Francisco at the Verdi Club. So I just put in some cinnamon, and I really love the Red Ape brand Ceylon cinnamon, and I keep all my spices in glass jars. If you have any of those spices, those old spices that are in those metal tins from when your mother, from when you were a kid, get rid of them. You have to keep your spices fresh. That's very, very important because we're eating the best food on the planet, so we want to use the best seasonings. And, if you want really good seasonings, go and see this lovely lady at her table. That's right. Yes, she has really wonderful, at her Homme Cuisine booth, beautiful fresh seasonings and spices. Because how important do you think spices are?
Oh my God, it's everything.
It's everything. Absolutely. Now I'm putting in some nutmeg. And as a matter of fact, in ancient China, the women used nutmeg as an aphrodisiac. Yes. Now I want to tell you that if you smoke nutmeg, it can become a hallucinogen. So do not smoke the nutmeg. Instead, put it in your food like this. There's a much better way to go, because I don't want anybody to have a moment. I don't want anybody to have a moment, right? Okay, so we are just going to blend up everything here. And we're going to put in some vanilla. We're just going to put in about a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, women love the smell of vanilla, by the way. And remember earlier I talked about the smell of cucumbers, increasing arousal in women by 13%? Guess what increases arousal in men? Anybody want to guess? Cinnamon. Yes, the smell of cinnamon, and remember, they measured these tests by blood flow to the penis. It increases arousal in men by 33%. So ladies, bake that vegan apple pie. All right. Okay. And it also, it's a trick that real estate agents do, is they will take a frozen apple pie and put it in the oven when they're showing houses, because the husband and wife team will come in, and the guy might not be that excited, but once he smells that apple pie, he's like, maybe I'll consider that house. I don't know. Okay, and so, now it's off. Wait, let me see. What do we do here? Oh, it did come out. Can one of you plug this back in for me? Because I have my gloves. Yeah, can you plug it back in? Yeah, can you plug it back in? Okay, so let's get the bars out to everybody. All right, so now that we've got all of that blended, we're able to put it in a pan. And so, thank you so much. We're able to put it in a pan, and what you can do is you can coat the pan very lightly with a little bit of coconut oil. And I recommend that over this. Now, why do you think I recommend using natural coconut oil over this for your baked bars? Because if we look on the back of this, one of the main ingredients in here is propellant, airplane propellant, okay? That's how they're able to squirt it through the can. So, do you want airplane fuel on your baked goods? Or are you willing to stick your fingers in the coconut oil and rub a little bit in the pan to protect your bars from sticking? And also, I just thought I'd mention that coconut oil is a great natural sexual lubricant. Most of the lubricants on the market are petroleum-based, right? A lot of them are. Now, do you want to put the stuff from the gas pump in your hoo-ha? No, you don't want to do that. So use some natural coconut oil for intimacy, and it is wonderful. Another great thing to use for intimacy that's natural is aloe vera. Aloe vera is also really wonderful. Okay. And I have tried both, and they both work. Okay, that's right. You're taking some notes, all right. And so,
is excellent.
Oh, it is great. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. So I need the other Vitamix, other food processor right away. I need it. Okay, and so then we just go ahead and we bake this, and okay. Yes. Oh, I forgot the oatmeal. You're right, I forgot the oatmeal in here. You're right. And so we're going to put the oatmeal in. Is the other food processor coming? Okay. So thank you for being on top of that. So we're going to put the oatmeal in. I got so excited talking about the lubricant that I forgot to put the But I forgot to put the oatmeal in here, okay? Sorry about that. And so we're just going to go ahead and put that in, and then we've got everything else in there, all the other stuff. See, I unplugged it again. It's okay. That's all right. We'll just go ahead and we'll just stir it up.
How long does the bar stay?
How long will the bars stay? They will stay for, they will keep for a week in the refrigerator. Yeah, they will keep for a week in the refrigerator. And so I need my white spatulas and I need the food processor. Okay? Thank you. All right. So we are going to get the next item to make the beautiful bars for you, to make the beautiful burgers for you. Okay? We have to switch out food processors. Okay? Yeah. And then we need the container. The container that goes with that. Okay? Thank you. Sorry for the technical difficulty moment. Okay. Yes. And so this is what the batter would look like for the bars. And you can see there's no oil in it, and it's just beautiful fruit sweetened. And then when this bakes in the oven, the smell is amazing, and it makes everything nice and soft. So what do you all think about those bars? Do you like them? Yes. Is it thrilling you? Do you feel like happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, 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 joy, joy? Hopefully you're feeling something. You know, hopefully you're feeling something with doing that. Okay, so we're taking this one, and I'm waiting for the next one to come. So we'll do that.
Can you use the same top on the bottom of this?
I could, but I have to get that stuff out of there. So is the next one coming? I'm waiting for the food processor top, Janet. Thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right. So we'll get that ready. You know how to put it on? And okay, I'll do it. But I'll need you to plug it in. Okay. So here's the next food processor. And notice I've been doing everything with an S blade, and it's called an S blade because it's in the shape of a That's right. S is for sexy. Sexy. Yes, S is for sexy. And you know what? I love talking about food being sexy, because so many people, they're like so reserved, and they're like, no, you can't talk about sexiness in terms of food. Well, I sure as hell can, because sexy means alluring. It means attractive. It means enticing. And there's nothing enticing about a dead piece of animal flesh on a plate. But it's so sexy when you take an asparagus spear and dip it in a little bit of olive oil and garlic and feed it to your lover. That is sexy. Okay? That is. All right. Okay. Thank you. We got it plugged in? Okay, great. And this is the lid that goes with the other one. Thank you so much. All right. And so these are my passion burgers. And these are I call them passion burgers because they contain black beans, and they also contain something else that's very sexy. But first, let me put the black beans in. One sexy thing at a time, okay? One sexy thing at a time. And so let me grab these. And I want to make sure that my list is still circulating. You know, one of the volunteers, can you make sure the list is circulating? Because by signing my list, you get my free newsletter with recipes, tips, and events. And you get to know, you'll get to know more about Vegan Iron Chef and everything. So I want to make sure that you get that. So we've got these beautiful black beans, and black beans are full of iron. They're full of iron, and iron oxygenates our blood. And also, what's great about beans is they're the perfect balance of protein and carbohydrate, the perfect balance of it. And we want to eat our beans every day, every single day. So we're going to put about 1.5 cups of beautiful black beans in here, and that's going to be the basis for our burger. That's where our protein is going to come from. In case people are like, I can't eat a plant burger because there's no protein. Hello, perfect balance, protein, carbohydrates. Okay? The next thing that we're going to put in are some yams. I love yams. Every single one of us, where does our sexual health come from? All right, our endocrine system, right? Okay, our endocrine system helps to control and help our libido. And yams are wonderful for the endocrine system. And they have a nice natural sweetness, and they're low glycemic. So we're just going to go ahead and put about a cup of yams in there. And next, we're going to put in a grain. And the grain that I like to use is some short grain brown rice. If you don't want to use that, you can use millet, you could use quinoa, or you could even use breadcrumbs or gluten-free breadcrumbs. And we're just going to put in about 3/4 of a cup of the rice in here. Okay, let's put that. You could use couscous if you wanted, any type of grain. I just like using the rice, and when I use rice, I like using the short grain brown rice. Earlier, I talked about the benefits of parsley, and so we're going to put a 1/2 cup of our wonderful parsley in there. And if you want to use cilantro, you can. I created this recipe using parsley. And the next ingredient is going to be something you might not be familiar with. Okay? This is nutritional yeast. This is not the Red Star. This is what organic nutritional yeast looks like. This is what it looks like, and it smells wonderful, and you can use this in place of a Parmesan or something, or anytime you want a salty taste. This is naturally salty and delicious, and you can get it at Rainbow. So, yes. Oh, you can't get this one at Rainbow? So maybe you got the 12-star. I got this at New Leaf. Okay, then that's probably the Red Star. So, yeah. Well, this one thrills me more. And I want to be thrilled. Yeah, so this one thrills me more. But you can use either one. It doesn't really matter.
So nutritionally, they are similar, aren't they?
Yes, yes. And we're just creating that natural kind of a cheesiest, salty flavor, with this. So we're going and the B vitamins, of course, absolutely, those B vitamins. So we're going to put in a little bit of salt. Now remember, we don't need to add a lot of salt because we have the wonderful nutritional yeast that we're putting in there. And I like using the pink Himalayan salt. And then we're also going to be putting in a little bit of black pepper. And if you want to use white pepper, you can, but I personally like using the black pepper. And speaking of spicing things up, I love heat. I love heat. And one of the main components of all chilies is capsaicin. And capsaicin helps with anti-inflammatory properties. And when you have arteries that aren't inflamed, the blood is flowing. And remember what I said earlier. What did I say earlier? If the blood is flowing, the what? The cucumber's growing. That's right. So if the blood is flowing, the cucumber's growing. That's right. We can say zucchini if you want, whatever. All right? And that's true for women. It's not just true for men. So, ladies, you want to make sure that you keep your blood flowing so that you can get more easily aroused. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead and we're going to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of chili flakes in there. And I love this. This is one of my favorite spices. And we want to create a little bit of acid. So the way we're going to create a little bit of acid is by putting in a 1/2 lemon. Or if you don't like the flavor of lemon, you can use, I don't know what else you can use. Okay. But I like this with a little bit of lemon in there. Yeah, you could put a little bit of lime. And so we're going to put in a 1/2 lemon. And we're also...
Can you use vinegar? A little bit of vinegar?
I don't think so. I don't. No, maybe you could, I guess so. But there's vinegar right here in the mustard.
Oh.
Okay? And we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of some delicious Dijon mustard. And I like to use the whole grain Dijon mustard. If you don't want to use the whole grain Dijon mustard, you can just use the traditional Dijon mustard. And then the last thing that is going to go in here is a little bit of liquid. Now, you can use some cooking liquid from when you cook your beans. So you could put in a couple tablespoons of that. Or you can take an avocado, you can slice up your avocado, and you can put it in here. And then the natural fat from the avocado can give a little bit of texture to the burger. But if you don't have that, then you can add just a little bit of grapeseed oil. Just a little bit of grapeseed oil. And if you have a canola oil in your refrigerator, I recommend you get rid of that, okay? Because canola oil is not even anything that occurs in nature, and it is the most highly inflammatory oil of all of the oils, okay? And so you don't want to be cooking with that or using it. And then you just take your food processor, and if you don't have a food processor, folks, what you can do is you can just mash everything. Just go ahead and mash it with a masher, like a potato masher. But we're going to do this, and tell her to get those ready. Okay, 1 second, because then I want to talk about it in a second. So we're going ahead, and see how we're just pulsing this? We're going and we're pulsing everything. We're pulsing it. Look at that. Yes. All right. Look how we've created this beautiful batter. Can you all see it? All right. And then you just take this beautiful batter, and you're going to heat up your oven to 500 degrees. This is very important because we want to get a little bit of a crust on the outside of the burger. So at 500 degrees, a parchment-lined cookie sheet, you flip them after 5 to 6 minutes, and you get that delicious crust. And what I like to do is I like to let my dough sit for a few minutes just to set, and then I take it, and I take a big globule of it, and I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed at the world. I'm not pissed at my taxes. I'm in a good mood when I'm preparing my food, okay? Because our energy is going to go into what we eat. So we want to be in a happy place. So we just take our beautiful burger, a beautiful burger dough. We just go like this. And because we want it fat and flat, okay? And by that, I also want to give a shout out to voluptuous vegans. Okay, thank you. We're not flat, but Anyway, okay. All right, and see, here is going to be a moment of deliciousness. So get ready for your taste buds to go, yeah. All right, and let's go ahead and we'll hand out some burgers. So we're going to hand out, what? Oh. Yeah, you can freeze these as well. So we're going to hand out the burgers, but one second before you do, are you almost ready? Before you do, I made a delicious avocado mousse crema for you. And I wanted to tell you about one of my favorite fruits, the avocados. And what do the avocados look like? I don't know. Anybody can tell me what they might look like? Like what?
That one alien from Men in Black.
I was thinking of something else. I wasn't thinking of the alien from Men in Black. But actually, avocados, and if you look at the Aztec word azcotal means testicle tree. And the avocados look like balls, okay? They look like them. And actually, what is so great is they're full of vitamin E and healthy fat, and all of that is going to be great for helping to keep our sexual health. And vitamin E is going to keep our skin nice and young and taut. Because remember, bad food, sugar, oils, especially from frying, those are the things that are going to wrinkle your skin. They're going to wrinkle your skin. And they did a study to see what is something that determines attractiveness, with women. And a lot of people think, well, if I have gray hair, I'm not going to be attractive to a guy, Or they think, oh, if I have a zit on my face, I'm not going to be attractive to a guy. But what is unattractive to a guy, as what the studies have shown, is where there's lots of age spots on the face. And a lot of those age spots come not just from sun exposure, but what you eat now is going to show up later on your skin. Everybody, what you eat now is going to show up later on your skin. So a lot of those big age spots and things that are appearing on people could be rancid fat from fried KFC that maybe you had, from years ago. So we want to keep our skin looking as good as possible, because our skin and our complexion is what determines attractiveness to the opposite sex. Not having gray hair, not having a zit, not having a big nose, it's the condition of our skin. Can somebody say okay? All right.
Beyond okay.
Mm-hmm. Beyond okay. So you don't have to put them on the plates. They were just going to pick them up with their fingers. Let's get them out now. Okay? Yeah, we don't want them, they don't need to be on the plates. All right? So we're going to get those little passion burgers out to you. And what's really delicious is to be able to eat them with the avocado crema. And then also you can have a slice of tomato, and you could eat it with some ketchup or some mustard. And if you do not want to eat it on a bun, If you don't want to eat it on a bun, then take some red cabbage and eat it that way. Eat it on red cabbage for a great gluten-free option. So that's wonderful. And if you wanted to put some Daya cheese on it or some chow, I think the chow vegan cheese is absolutely great. You can definitely do that and put that on there. And, you know, I just wanted to take a moment. First of all, I want to make sure that everybody has signed the list. Make sure you find the list and that it's circulating, okay? That everybody's been able to sign the list so I can make sure that you get on the, you know, receiving my newsletter and my emails. But what did you think about this food today? Was it really?
This was excellent.
It was good? It was good? Thank you. Thank you. And, you know, this wasn't that difficult. Did anybody think that this was too difficult to make or too hard to be able to make?
I have a quick question, though.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, you said we could use avocado in lieu of the liquid, and it'll make
Yes.
it creamier.
Uh-huh.
But you also said after that once you make it into the patty, you can put it into the oven.
Yes.
Can avocado be?
Yes, and it's delicious. As a matter of fact, when I make my tamale balls, she was asking about using avocado. When I use my tamale balls, I chop up avocado with the masa. Yes, it's delicious.
No, nutritionally.
Well, I don't know, but it's better than oil to put a little bit of the avocado in there. So what did you think about the passion burger? Do you feel good? Do you feel like the happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy? Well, I hope you all feel that way. And one of the things, thank you so much. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is, you know, at the beginning of my talk, everybody said, they mentioned that I'm a vegucator. But you know what? There's nothing special about me. I'm just Lisa from Pleasanton, okay? Every single one of you can be a vegucator too. Every single day, you have an opportunity to share the joys of plant-based foods with somebody, with a stranger, with somebody that you come in contact with at the laundromat. And I'm so excited because my esthetician is back there. And, you know, I've been talking to her about plant-based food. And Kimberly, what's the little one think? Does he like it? That's right. Okay, great. And do you like getting vegucated? And, well, even if she doesn't like it, I'm going to do it anyway. You know? I'm going to do it anyway. So every day we all have the opportunity to share the joys of plant-based foods. And you don't know what type of difference that will make. You know, for every time that somebody decides, well, I'm going to have a plant burger instead of regular burger, that helps to save them, the animals, and the environment. So all of you can do this. And the last thing I just wanted to say before I give out some prizes to everybody is that plant-based food, remember I told you all at the beginning of my talk that all of you are amazing, right? All of you are amazing. So one thing that I feel is that a lot of times within the vegan community is that we just stay within the vegan community. But plant-based eating, which is the healthiest eating on the planet, is for everybody. Every single person deserves to have the best food. And what's happening in a lot of institutionalized care facilities is that people get the worst food possible. They got a lot of the substandard fruits and vegetables and the subsidized meat and dairy. And one of the things that I'm really grateful for is because things are changing. As a matter of fact, the city and county of San Francisco and the city and county of San Mateo have hired me to vegucate the special needs populations. And I just want to share, can I share a little story with you really quick? So I've been able to work with a couple. She is high-functioning, developmentally disabled, and she has cerebral palsy. Okay, she has like a bad arm, but she's functional, and she is married to a gentleman who's high-functioning, developmentally disabled, and also has schizophrenia. So they asked me to, vegucate them. So we went to San Bruno, and we did a tour of the store, and I was talking to them about plant milk versus dairy milk, and veggie sausages versus the pork sausages, and they were just like, I want to lose weight. I want to feel better. And so we just loaded up the cart with all these vegetables and all these meat and dairy analogs. So what do you think happened? I went back a few weeks later, and they were like, Lisa, look at our groceries. Look at our groceries. And I opened their grocery bags, and there was almond milk, there was veggie sausages, there was veggie cheese, and there was tons of vegetables, and she had lost 10 pounds. So, if persons with developmental disabilities can get a grasp on eating plant-based, anybody can do that, because plant-based eating is for everyone. So what I wanted to do next was I just wanted to give away a few little, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to give away a few little treats in the last remaining time that we have. So first of all, I want to give something to the youngest person here in the audience, and I think, of course, that's your son, right? Kimberly? Dakota? All right? Yes. All right. And she's yes. So, yeah. So for Dakota, we want to give her some naked nibbles. Okay, and this is not sleazy. We want to give her some naked nibbles, and we want to give her a vegan milk chocolate bar made with rice milk. Is that okay, Kimberly? Okay. So we want to give that to her. All right. That's right. And then also for the second youngest person in the audience, is that your son? All right. We're going to give him a raw bar and some more naked nibbles. And this is a great product from my sponsor, Naked. And I gave a sexy demo, and my sponsor is Naked. What more could I say? All right. What more could I say? And then also another one of my sponsors is Cocaroon, and this is a wonderful low-glycemic snack. And I want to give this to the person who's been vegan the longest. Who's been vegan the longest? Anybody more than 20 years? 30 years? 30 years? Okay. Okay. Here you go. Here's some Cocaroons for you and some coupons. Okay. All right. Who's been vegan next, the next longest? Would it be 25? 23? Anybody else? We're 23. Do you want kale chips or chia seeds? He'll take the kale chips. Okay. All right, great. And by the way, this is Clyde, and he runs South Bay Vegans. And I'm so happy to see some wonderful South Bay vegan people here. It's a wonderful group. If you're not plugged in, get plugged in. Get plugged into a plant-based group and have fun. Also, I wanted to give this to, if there's anybody here that's raw vegan. Anybody here that's raw vegan? Okay. And I know. Okay, come over here. And then Mike, tell us about your group.
We are the South Bay Vegans, and we are 30-something people at our last meeting.
And Table of Life also.
I'm not Table of Life.
But you do stuff with Table of Life sometime.
I don't know what she's doing.
Oh, okay, that's another
Go to the site. I think it's kind of dormant.
Okay. South Bay Raw. So South Bay Vegans and South Bay Raw, two great options. And yeah, that's Clyde. Yeah, Clyde is with the South Bay Vegans. He's a wonderful asset. And I want to give this prize to whoever traveled the furthest to be here today. Anybody who traveled the furthest? Where'd you come from? Hawaii. Okay, all right. So she's getting some, what?
Brazil.
Oh, she came from Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want chocolate or chia?
Chocolate.
You want some chocolate? Okay. All right, and I want to give this last prize to whoever's been a member of the Vegetarian Society for the longest. Anybody? Who has been a member of the Vegetarian Society the longest? Anybody?
No, over there. She.
How long have you been a member?
2004.
Since 2004. Anybody longer than 2004? About the same? Okay, you two duke it out. You two figure out who's going to get that. So like I said, Naked is one of my sponsors. They are the #1 selling snack bar in all of Europe. And these bars are Naked, baby. All they are fruit, nuts, and seeds and love. And all of you are going to get one of them today for being an audience member. And for those of you that signed my list, my other sponsor, Veggie Grill, is going to give you some Veggie Grill points to get a free goodie at Veggie Grill. What do you think about that? Okay. So I'm Chef Lisa Veg. Thank you so much for being here today, and bless you all. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we'll go.